We all witnessed the level of talent at the Kenny Bostic Memorial Arm Wrestling Tournament in Hawthorne, Nevada last week, and it was stacked to say the least. Every contender in every weight class was a beast. Before the event, I got to cruise around and chop it up a little bit, and the first dude I bumped into was Derek Smith. Taller and bigger than ever, Derek looked hungry. Years back when Derek started in the sport, he did CrossFit and weighed around 270. Now sitting around 370 pounds, he says the plan is to get even bigger. After his amazing trip to Dubai, training with Larry Wheels, we were all on the edge of our seat to see what is next for Derek and his team Alpha Empire out of Southern California. Check out his YouTube channel, AW Derek, to follow his adventures. The next puller I saw was Eli Saidov. Sorry if I'm messing that up, Eli. This kid is strong as hell. At 165 pounds, there are not many pullers in the country that could with him. He has wins over some of the best pullers around. I met Eli at a small event here in my beautiful hometown of Bend, Oregon. I wasn't competing in the event, so I threw $100 out to anyone in the crowd that wanted to challenge me left-handed. That turned out to be a bad idea, as Eli held me in the hook with ease and took my money. Keep your eye out for this kid. Next up is the all-popular Kody Merritt. An arm wrestling monster, he is ranked number 1 in the country left-handed and is top 20 right-handed. Kody has to be one of the nicest guys I've ever met in arm wrestling, but if you get on the table with this dude, there's a lot to be scared of. Arm wrestling with an amazing team out of Utah, this man is a world-class puller. He made us all proud back in 2019 when he traveled to compete in the WAF World Championships and came home with the gold. Kody is definitely one of the favorite arm wrestlers who I always look forward to seeing compete. The kid next to him is Jack. At first I thought Jack was Kody's son, but they just both happen to be good looking dudes and training partners. I saw him compete the day before in the novice event, and he put on an amazing show with some great wins. Being trained and coached by pullers like Craig Tullier and Kody Merritt, there's a bright future for this kid. We may be seeing the future of arm wrestling. Then I saw AJ Henson, another one of my favorite arm wrestlers. He's the kind of dude you just want to have a beer with. Don't let the smile fool you. He's a super humble and nice guy, but happens to be a huge threat on the table. He is hands down one of the best left-handed pullers in the country, around 200 pounds. We have had some great matches over the year, and I always look forward to pulling around with this guy. Being one of the first top-level pullers I competed with, he has taught me quite a bit over the years. Much love, AJ. Hey, it's Roman Gromov. I had never had the privilege of meeting this dude, but have been admiring his pulling through YouTube and Facebook for a while. Always in awe seeing him dominate whole tournaments and often beating or stopping pullers twice his size, who you would imagine has no chance against. Ranked number 1 in the country for a reason, this kid is stupid powerful. He is a crazy, well-rounded arm wrestler who can take the match wherever he wants. I tried pulling him in the after pulls. He had been pulling all day and I was fresh. I couldn't pin him. He's a freak. This is Oleh Moisei. If you haven't heard of him, I have a feeling you're going to start hearing about him a lot. Another one of those dudes that has been on my radar lately, as he has been super active in training with Scott Wynn and a big strong team in Southern California. This kid has more endurance than any puller I've seen in a long time. He pulls multiple weight classes and either places or wins them all. Another puller that doesn't give a shit if you want a hook or top roll, he is a threat at any quarter of the table. The dude is most definitely the future of this sport, and I could see him being pound for pound the best in the country one day. Then I had the pleasure of bumping into my old buddy Cobra Rhodes, one of the first elite pullers to give me solid advice. I've always looked up to him. If you don't know Cobra, then you're not an arm wrestler. Let me break it down for you. Cobra is arm wrestling. This man is a multiple-time world champion and one of the greatest arm wrestlers of all time. If you are an arm wrestler, you likely adapted a part of your game from this legend. Whether it's the strong hand, amazing back pressure, lightning fast hit, or tenacious attitude and will to win, it likely came from watching this legend compete against the best in the world over the many years that he has been in the sport. If you want to become a great arm wrestler, start studying this dude's footage, as he has a wealth of experience and knowledge. Next up is Justin Green, a strong right-handed puller who has been out of the game for a while due to injuries. I'm very anxious to see how he does with his comeback. He is another arm wrestler out of that strong Utah team. Then there was the great Ron Bath, another man who is a legend in the sport of arm wrestling and one of the greatest to ever do it. Time does not seem to slow this man down, as he has been competing with the best in the world since I was a baby and continues to be a dominant force in the arm wrestling world. Every time this man has a super match or shows up to an event, the world takes notice, and for good reason. He is truly the people's champ and will remain a huge inspiration for arm wrestlers around the world for years to come. This man is Bill Collins, referee and owner of the UAL and the NAL. He has been putting on amazing arm wrestling events since I can remember and is one of the most respected arm wrestling referees in the world. He is also a multiple-time world champion in arm wrestling. If you travel through the United States competing in this sport, you will see Bill and his wife Ginger working hard to help organize, promote, and manage events in states all across the country. You will have a very hard time meeting a man that has selflessly devoted as much to the sport of arm wrestling as Bill Collins. Next, I saw the natural Jamie Sheldon, one of the most popular and respected arm wrestlers from the World Arm Wrestling League. This man has turned his amazing skills on the arm wrestling table into a national brand called NatFit, a popular supplement and clothing line amongst us arm wrestlers. Jamie has had some of the best wars on the table that we have seen and is expected to win most events that he competes in. A great businessman, family man, and athlete, Jamie sets an example of what arm wrestling greatness is. Then I met who I thought was Matt Gerdner, but he's not Matt Gerdner. His name is Michael Coberg, aka Mega Mike, and he is a member of Team Alpha Empire out of Southern California led by Derek Smith. From what I heard, this dude has only been training for 6 months, and for him to get wins against the dudes he beat today is ridiculous. This man has an amazing amount of potential in this sport. Next, I saw my buddy John Neal. He is an arm wrestler with Team Armstrongs out of Washington led by Northwest legend Jacob Abott. This is a mean-ass team. With so many members, they had to come up with their own internal ranking system. Should be seeing a lot of strong pullers come out of that team soon. Then there is my teammate Jody Williams, aka Chocolate Thunder, and his wife Becky. They started the Long Live Dono Foundation after the passing of their son Donovan, who loves sports. This foundation helps youth and their families with the cost of player fees and equipment for sports. This event helped contribute to both the Kenny Bostic Memorial as well as the Long Live Dono Foundation, which both help athletes who otherwise would not have been able to compete due to having a lack of resources. Please hop over to longlivedono.com and kennybosticfund.com and help out however you can. Then I saw Vazghen Saghoyan. This dude might be small, but he's strong as an ox. Another multiple-time world champion puller, this dude has been whooping ass for a long time. Though we did not get the privilege of seeing him pull in this tournament, we did get to check out some of his gear from his popular clothing line, Arm Wrestling Apparel. Hop over to armwrestlingapparel.net and check out some of the fresh clothing that they have. My buddy Tim Tallmadge was up in the place. Always good to see this dude. The sport of arm wrestling is a brotherhood, and if anyone will have your back in the arm wrestling world, it's this guy. A great arm wrestler as well as promoter and referee. If you see this guy at your event, thank him for all he is doing for our sport. You can find him running tournaments in Washington and Arizona, as well as refereeing and competing in tournaments across the country. Another super cool dude and amazing referee is my boy Scott Make the Moves Wynn. With over 30 years of arm wrestling experience, this man has seen it all. His table IQ is off the charts, and any opponent of his should be concerned, and any student of his should feel blessed. His age doesn't seem to be much of a factor, as he still competes against the best in the best, and is always making great moves on the table. Always smiling and happy, Chris Collins is turning into one of the world's future best referees. Following in the footsteps of his father Bill Collins, he has some big shoes to fill. Chris is always cool, calm, and collected at the table, which if any of you had tried refereeing an arm wrestling match is very hard to do. The arm wrestling world appreciates you, Chris. Then I saw the dude that has taken over the game right now. Jordan Sill is absolutely killing it. A man who can demolish the athletes in the super heavyweight class and still make the cut to 200 pounds is scary. He has been an absolute wrecking ball of a puller lately. I've had some great matches with this man over the years and love competing with him, but that looks to be a thing of the past as his strength has reached new levels. Then I met Craig Tullier, who we all know is arm wrestling royalty. This dude has been through the trenches. Another multiple-time world champion, star of the TV show Game of Arms, and top competitor in the WAL, this man is the cream of the crop when it comes to arm wrestling. I do not think I have met anyone so polite in the arm wrestling world. He is a true gentleman. You could see that in the amazing sportsmanship through the battle that he had with Mendez, where he won the match on fouls, but allowed a restart to make the match end with a legitimate pin, which ended up in the opponent's favor. You won't find many arm wrestlers as strong and upstanding as Craig Tullier. Issac Luna was in the house, another great arm wrestler and good guy. He is tenacious as hell on the table and is consistently finishing at the top of his division. He also has one of the most ripped set of arms I've ever seen. Then there is Bob Brown, the official guru of arm wrestling. Another legendary arm wrestler who has helped mold the sport of arm wrestling. A longtime training partner of the greatest arm wrestler of all time, John Brzezinski, he himself is a seasoned multiple-time world champion and another puller who has stood the test of time, still competing with some of the best in the world. If you want some of the best arm wrestling knowledge around, check out his Facebook page for regular words of wisdom from one of the greats. Justin Bishop is the man. One of the most traveled and active arm wrestlers in the country. This is a bad dude. He has been the top dog in every league that he has competed in and is one of the standout stars of the WAL. He is a hard-working dude both on and off the table, as well as a great family man. You can find him and his brother Josh Bishop training and giving arm wrestling tips at the Outlaw Arm Wrestling page on YouTube. I met Anderson Oliveira at a practice in Petaluma, California a few months back. After arm wrestling him, I was confused. Who is this dude and why the hell is he so strong? Come to find out, he is actually an arm wrestling champion out of Brazil. His side pressure is ridiculous and was evident how strong he was when he started giving Todd Hutchings a really good pull on the practice table, which is no small feat. Definitely expect a lot of great things from this puller. Then we got Alex Totroll, or Alex Beziazykov. Once again, my bad if I'm butchering your name. This guy may be single-handedly responsible for the huge surge of arm wrestling in social media. This means he is responsible for arm wrestling being relevant today, because as we know it, the world revolves around social media. Aside from him and his brother Schoolboy making huge waves in arm wrestling from their videos in Times Square, he is also a world-class arm wrestler. He seems to be getting stronger in every competition that he competes in. All of us owe this man and his lady, who is also an amazing arm wrestler, a lot of appreciation for working hard to get arm wrestling noticed. Paul Talbott is one of the best arm wrestlers in the country. Multiple-time WAL champion, any puller in any weight class should be concerned if they're matched up against this man. His speed is ridiculous, and he seems to be strong at any position his opponent puts him. He is the kind of puller whose favorite move is exposing your weakness. He is ranked #1 left hand in the country right now, and I do not see that changing for a while. As you can see, this is one of those events that everybody wants to be at, and it did not disappoint. Head over to the UAL Facebook page to see the other amazing events this organization has planned. Until next time, keep pulling hard, people.